The Galactic Academy of Interspecies Cooperation had many traditions, but none quite as controversial as the Warrior Culture Exchange Program. It was designed to foster understanding between different species by immersing cadets in the combat traditions of other worlds. Most exchanges went smoothly until Earth joined the galactic community. Senior mentor Vilax watched with mounting horror as Cadet Tom Reed returned from his week with the Krith, one of the most feared warrior races in the galaxy. The human showed no signs of trauma. In fact, he was smiling. "This cannot be good," Vilax whispered to his assistant, Mentor Elora. Her facial tentacles curled in agreement. The Krith were known for their brutal training regimens that broke even the toughest species. Their homeworld, a high-gravity death trap filled with predators, had forged them into living weapons. Most cadets returned from Krith exchanges hollow-eyed and traumatized. Some never returned at all. Yet here was Reed, whistling as he unloaded his gear from the transport shuttle. Perhaps he was given special treatment, Elora suggested hopefully. "The Krith do not give special treatment," Vilax replied. "They believe weakness should be crushed, not coddled." Commander Draz, the Krith liaison officer assigned to the academy, disembarked behind Reed. Even for a Krith, Draz looked disturbed. His armored exoskeleton was scratched in places and his normally perfect military posture seemed slightly slouched. "We need to talk," Draz growled at Vilax, mandibles clicking with agitation. Privately. In Vilax's office, Draz paced. Something the disciplined Krith never did. "What happened?" Vilax asked cautiously. "The human," Draz began, then faltered. He completed the gauntlet. Vilax's respiratory sacs deflated in shock. "That's impossible. No off-worlder has ever—" "He did," Draz interrupted. "Without augmentation, without assistance. The gauntlet was the Krith's ultimate test of warrior prowess, a 70-kilometer course through the most dangerous terrain on their homeworld, facing wild predators and Krith warriors serving as opponents. It required strength, endurance, tactical thinking, and raw survival instinct. Most Krith warriors trained their entire lives to attempt it just once. But humans are soft," Elora said, joining the conversation. "They lack natural armor or claws." Draz's compound eyes fixed on her. "They lack nothing. They merely hide everything." He activated a holographic display showing Reed running through a dense jungle, pursued by a six-legged apex predator. Instead of continuing to flee, the human suddenly turned, picked up a fallen branch, and charged at the creature. The recording ended with Reed standing victorious, covered in alien blood but largely unharmed. "He said he went camping as a child," Draz explained, the Krith equivalent of disbelief in his voice. "We thought he would die in the first day. Instead, he—" The warrior trailed off, mandibles twitching uncomfortably. "He what?" Vilax pressed. "He enjoyed it," Draz said flatly. "Called it refreshing, and like going back to basics. Started teaching our younger warriors human hunting techniques." Vilax and Elora exchanged alarmed glances. "After completing the gauntlet, he participated in the victory feast," Draz continued. "He consumed foods toxic to most species without hesitation, drank our ceremonial firewater, enough to kill 3 Krith, and remained standing. Then he taught our warriors something called drinking games. Outside, through the office window, they could see Reed demonstrating hand-to-hand combat moves to a group of fascinated cadets from various species. The human explained that Earth has hundreds of different martial arts traditions, Draz said, developed over thousands of years of humans fighting other humans. His exoskeleton shuddered slightly. They evolved on a world where their greatest predator was themselves. Vilax understood now. The panicked messages from the Krith High Command made sense. A species that treated the Krith warrior trials as a recreational activity was not a species to be underestimated. "What about the mental conditioning?" Elora asked. "The psychological breaking points, the sleep deprivation?" Draz's mandibles clicked in what might have been a nervous laugh. He called it basically college finals week. Said he once stayed awake for 3 days straight to complete something called a video game marathon. That evening, an emergency meeting of the Academy Council was convened. Representatives from all member species gathered to discuss the implications of Reed's performance. "We should expel Earth from the program," suggested the delegate from the Volok's hegemony. "They're clearly too dangerous." "And make enemies of them?" countered the Talarian ambassador. "After seeing what they're capable of? I think not." Admiral Kaz of the Academy Defense Force cleared his throat. The human did nothing wrong. He participated in good faith and followed all protocols. In fact, he's shown exceptional diplomatic skills, forming bonds with the Krith warriors, something we've been trying to achieve for decades. Vilax watched as Reed entered the cafeteria below, slapping the armored back of a Krith warrior in a gesture of friendship. The Krith, instead of removing the human's arm as expected, returned the gesture carefully. "We don't need to fear them," Vilax realized aloud. "We need to learn from them." In the months that followed, the exchange program was recalibrated. Humans became instructors rather than participants in many cases. Their adaptability, endurance, and psychological resilience became legendary. And in the Krith warrior halls, a new tradition emerged. Before any major campaign or trial, warriors would gather to ask themselves, what would the human do? Reed never understood why his performance caused such a stir. To him, it was just another challenge, another opportunity to test his limits. He didn't realize that he had forever changed how the galaxy viewed his species. As his alien friends often reminded him, on the scale of terrifying Deathworlders, humans ranked first not because they were the strongest or fastest, but because they made friends with their nightmares and called it fun.